Hey, this is Pete Bonifasci, your student science teacher. Welcome to Curriculum Night. I'm going to go ahead and go over our Earth Space course, and thanks for being here. So first, a couple things you'll see on this page, and you can pause it if you need it later. Here's my email address, my phone number. You can see I teach other courses, chemistry. I also do drawing and painting here, first time, so kind of excited about that. Anyway, 1 second. Let's see if our slides are working here. There we go. Weird. 1 second. There we go. Back to where we're supposed to be. Now, just a little bit about our science program in general at Limerick High School. So to graduate statewide, you need 3 years of science. Okay. If your student is thinking like college down the road, we encourage like 3 to 4 years of science and a more challenging course probably after this one, maybe like chemistry or physics or something like that. If your student failed science last year, specifically spring semester, passing first semester of this course will overwrite that and give them a passing grade last spring. So if that happened, your student, the counselors know way more about it. Send an email to the counselor or have your student talk to the counselor. But yeah, passing this semester, if they failed last semester, will bring their grade up. So now, what does a student take like after this? After Earth Space, what does a student take next? So there's a couple options. If their goal is simply like graduation in the least challenging route, many students take physical science after this, which is about the same level of difficulty. If they're looking for more of a heading towards college, more of a challenging course, often chemistry or physics, and taking chemistry opens the door to a lot of other things like AP Physics and AP Bio and AP Environmental and biotechnology. Several of them require chemistry as a prerequisite. So just a little background there. Okay, so what's Earth Space? What is this class? So it's broken into 3 parts: astronomy, which is space; geology, which is Earth; and atmosphere and climate. Okay, we start the year and right now are doing atmosphere and climate, and we talk about like what makes climates different from each other, what causes climates to form, and that's actually what we're talking about and starting to get into now. Like, why is Western Washington so wet and Eastern Washington so dry? Why do we find many of the great deserts around the world at the same latitude, say north or south amount? Like what's causing that? And we haven't got to the answer yet in our class, but that's what we're building towards. Okay. And then what are humans doing to influence climate? What can we do about that? And ultimately sustainability, like how can we preserve Earth and its environment? So around, I would guess December, January, we're going to transition into astronomy. We'll talk about the Big Bang, life cycle stars, how the solar system is formed and it works. And along the way, we'll incorporate things like energy and waves, and we'll need basic chemistry like the periodic table and what atoms are to talk about that. So finally, around spring break or so, we'll transition to Earth, and we'll talk about the formation and structure of Earth. How do we know the ages of rocks and the Earth itself? How do new landforms form? And then what happens to those landforms over time? How are they changed or destroyed? Okay. So anyway, there's a list there. Now, student assignments. So our grade is kind of, or not grade, our class is broken into 3 categories. Daily work is done in their journal, and just by completing daily work, they get the points. They don't need to be right, they just need to be complete and on time. If it's late, it gets marked down to about 60% credit. So it's really important to keep up with us. I give them, like if they're working during class time, 95% of time, they can get it done in class. So they just need to focus, and during class time, they'll have no homework and they'll get it done and they get the points. So test quizzes make up probably, and projects, 60–70% of the grade. And there'll be all those things. We've had 1 quiz already. There'll be another quiz, I don't know, in a week or so. We'll have a test in, I don't know, a couple weeks or a month. Is our first test, and that's kind of how that looks. Okay, there probably won't be much for participation, but it's there if we need it, and there probably will be some things that fall into that category. So daily work, I already talked about a little bit. This is like just completing the assignments and showing them me or submitting them on time. It gets you full credit as long as they're complete. I talked a little bit. One thing I want to mention about tests and quizzes. If your student, it doesn't go well, let's say their first quiz, which they already got, they got, let's say, a D or an F grade on. they can correct every single test and quiz up to a C grade and bring it up to a C. So if you notice on their first quiz, they got below, I gave them their quizzes back. I told them to correct them. All they have to do is change their wrong answers to the right answers, and then write me a short sentence or phrase about why the new answer is better, and I'll bring them up to a C, okay? So if they got below, they should have done that or should be doing that. So yeah, we can skip over this, get to the big main stuff. So the best way to track a grade, there's two ways. So Skyward is the official grade, but it's not always as up to date. I update Skyward every week or so, probably. Sometimes faster, sometimes less, just depending what's going on. Double check your email on Skyward is correct, because I send out progress reports, I don't know, every 2 weeks or month or so, just about how things are going. And I'll send it to your email address so you can kind of see how that goes. Okay, also announcements like test is next week and things like that. This is for my biology course in here, and you can kind of see, you can click on a grade here and open up to assignments, and they'd list what they have turned in, what they don't. The things you're most concerned about is when you see not the missing, but the zero. Every once in a while, the computer gets confused and it'll be like 100%, but still missing. Obviously, it's not missing. Okay, look for the zeros. That's what actually hurting your student. So, okay, now you can set up your own parent Canvas account, and that's actually more important in some ways than Skyward for this class, because Canvas has all the assignments, all the notes in it. You can see what they turned in literally almost day of, or at least a day late. You can see like what I enter things in Canvas all the time. Okay, so you can see what's missing, what's not. It's my active grade book. Okay, so you just need to know your name, your email, and then you need a child's their login username and their login password, and it'll create a linked account for you to be able to see everything they see. Instead of walking through this one, I want to go ahead and walk you through what it actually looks like on ours. So here's ours right here. You can see Earth Space. You can see on the side modules right here. And if they go into modules, you can see literally day by day every assignment. Okay. And you'll see, for example, yesterday we did the light intensity lab and so on. If they go into grades, and this is a fake student, so this fake student hasn't turned in any work because they're a fake student, right? So this is test students, right? So you'll notice they haven't done any work here, but you can go over here to grades and it tells you what they've done. Again, the missing thing can get confused sometimes and have to go manually change it. But what you're looking for here again is zero. Like blanks mean I just, like this student may have just joined the class late and just didn't have those. Zeros are what's hurting your student's grade. So anything that's a zero, have them get that to me. Okay, have them turn in that assignment, have them take that quiz, have them anything like that. Zeros are what we're concerned about. Okay. So and then at the bottom down here, after all the stuff, it goes ahead and like there's a bunch of different categories which I can't eliminate, unfortunately, or I'll try to eliminate. But anyway, you'll see their overall grade is 20% by fake student because they have 1 point in here somehow, right? Okay, so anyway, that's how that looks, and that's how to track classes. So put this back here. 1 second. Okay, and I already went over all that. So again, Canvas it tells you upcoming assignments, most up-to-date grades. You can see them as I enter them. Skyward are grades that after I tell Canvas to upload to Skyward. These are one of the ones that count in the end. There may be short-term mistakes in Canvas, like while I'm entering things, because you're seeing like if I enter a student, you haven't entered the rest of the class yet, you literally see me as I type things in. So if it's the most recent assignment, it may not always be there yet, if it's like today or yesterday's, right? But you can see things as they get entered. Skyward is what I think is right, for sure, because I hit the upload button, so I think this is right. I should have everything in if I hit that button. But I only do that again about once a week or so. And here's my info again. Feel free to reach out if you have any questions. And finally, if your student needs help or to retake things or anything at all, they should come see me and they can get advisory pass and come in and retake a test or redo test corrections or whatever that is during advisory midday. So thank you so much, and have a great day.